I think it was a combination of all of those things. I think mainly it was the passion of the Indian fans. As a cricketer I love cricket. I love the game of cricket, and I'll try and help anyone I possibly can, no matter what country they're from, whether it's a young spinner, a captain, whoever wants to help or a talk or a chat, I'm happy to do that. To go back to India and see the passion they have and the love the Indian fans have for the game of cricket, that's what I really enjoy. And playing in front of the Indian fans, whether it be for the Rajasthan Royals, whether it was for Australia or whoever, I felt that they respected what I did. They knew how hard leg spin bowling was. They knew how good a players those great players of India were of spin. So they loved to see that contest. And I suppose what people loved to see was Tendulkar versus Warne. Unfortunately, Tendulkar smashed me all the time, which I suppose the Indian fans loved more often than not, because I remember, I think it was it the 98 series, the first time we ever played, after that first test I was talking about 7 or 8 years later, when we were both at the top of our games before I got injured. But the first innings, I remember the whole build-up was Tendulkar versus Warne, what's going to happen this time, blah, blah, blah. And we got to the first test match, and I just took a wicket, I'd just taken a wicket. Sachin walked out, and everyone went, you know what it's like, Sachin. They all went absolutely berserk. And we were in our huddle, because we just took a wicket, and we were talking about, okay, let's try and make a statement early and get Sachin out early. And I said, I'll get Sachin out early, don't worry. So I was at the top of the mark, and I think it was the first ball I bowled, he smashed me down the ground for 4. The second ball he played and missed, and I think it was either the third or the fourth ball, he nicked it to Mark Taylor out for 4. And I'd never heard a crowd go from so loud to so quiet in the space of 3 deliveries. It was you could suddenly hear yourself talk. It was actually quite nice. But then through that series, the next innings he came out and played one of the greatest knocks, I think, against Australia in my time. I think that 156 or 158, was it? He made in the 158 in the second innings was an amazing knock, and probably the best 100 that I've seen against our attack, the Australian attack. Even though in that time we didn't have the McGraths and all those guys, they were all injured and didn't play, but it was still an unbelievable 100 and the best 100 I've seen against an Australian side that I played in.
In that sense, would you say that the Indian batsmen are perhaps the best in the world that you've seen against spin because they use their feet? Out of all the players that you've played, you've come to this country.
I wouldn't mind bowling to the Indian team now. I think
really?
the Indian team now is a lot different to the Indian team when you'd look at Ganguly, Tendulkar, Dravid, Laxman, Sehwag. You back those 5 up against the current 5. I'd fancy my chances against the current 5. Virat Kohli might be an issue. He's a wonderful player and the best batsman in the world, in my opinion. But I reckon I'd fancy my chances against the rest. Compared to what it was like bowling those other type 5 guys, those guys in that late 90s and early 2000s were the best players of spin. The current Indian side, I don't believe, are the best players of spin anymore. There's better players of spin around. They're still very good players, but they're not as good as those 5 guys were playing spin bowling.